All right, welcome to the 2.0 version of Mac's Meseta Farming Guide. So I wanted to make sure I expanded on a few other options, as people did comment that, there's some other ideas out there besides just endless farming that work for them. But the four main areas I wanted to cover are: 1, weekly missions. Those are new to episode 6. 2, endless farming again with some extra bonus pointers. 3, want to cover Buster quests and what you can do with Buster medals to make some money. And 4, working the player shop. Just kind of a basic summary of some ideas on how to make money by working the player shop. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so this first tutorial is going to be super basic, but it is a new feature added to episode 6. Not everyone may be aware of this, but it's good to cover. So you'll notice if you select under the main menu, ARC's missions, you've got something called weekly missions. We're going to ignore the rest of them for now. All we care about is making money. So weekly missions. I've already completed one, but you'll see a number of things in here that give a very high amount of Meseta rewards each week. Now, these things can be done once a week per character. So if you have 3 characters, which Sega does give you for no extra cost, you can go ahead and repeat these things 3 times a week. That ends up being, somewhere in that 7-8 million range of Meseta, just from doing some pretty basic stuff, like earning Meseta from client orders you're probably going to do anyway, or doing just a simple time attack. All right, so notice that little pop-up that we completed the time quest. All we have to do now, go back to the ARC's missions, weekly missions, done. Instant Meseta. And that's all there is to it. So again, you can do these once per character each week. So if you're a freebie, 3 times per week without paying any real money to do this. All right, so for endless farming, we're just going to do Endless Memories Beyond on Very Hard. Just select it from list, Endless Memories Beyond Very Hard. Quick start, done. Make sure that nobody else can join your room if you're doing this solo. You can do it with a friend as long as you coordinate. The goal is to break parts on specific enemies that you want to kill. So that's why I said restrict party. So when we go here, go ahead and select pause boost item effect. You actually don't want rare items whatsoever. You don't. You want lower rarity items with a high number of affixes. If you get high rarity items, you're going to get less fixes. So then on defense boost, there's an option for D-Man Drink Premium if you do have Premium. I do, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. The reason is you get Special Effect Boost. That increases your affix quantity per item. So a higher chance of a higher number of affixes every time you get a drop. So that's pretty important for this. That is, in fact, the whole purpose. You're going to look for 8-slot weapons at the end, or high affix units. Somewhere between 4 and 8 affixes on the units. And now, the most important thing that you do is try to kill enemies like the Vol Dragon, the Quartz Dragon, the Snow Banther, Vegas Illusia. Those all have really good affixes for selling. Pretty much everything that I didn't mention, not necessarily worthwhile. I mean, Ringata isn't bad. Balrodos isn't terrible. But what I found is going for the things that people often use for creating things like Ares and other soul combinations, Act the Soul, Till the Soul. Those seem to be hot sellers. And then there's going to be things like Anga that you just want to avoid. In fact, if you already get Vegas and Sanctum, which have all the affixes I was mentioning, for the most part, I would just stop there. And I would just let time run out. Okay. This is the one that I like the most. Once I get this one, and sometimes you're lucky you get Vegas too. But, as long as you get this one, it's usually a pretty good return on units. You've got both Quartz Soul here and Vol Soul as options. Now here, I want to break the horn. I want to break the other horn. Sometimes the targeting takes a little bit of getting used to. You can also do third-person targeting if that helps. Okay, we broke that. Now we're going to break his tail. And now we can kill him. Done. Same thing with Quartz. We're going to attack his nose. Attack his wings. Both of them. Make sure you're going after the top ones. Go after his tail. Got the tail. And then we just finish him off. Alright, so right here, we kind of stop after we kill these guys. They're not going to affect the loot table. And we'll just hang out now. We don't really need Loser. We don't really need Persona, some of the other things here. So we already got the Sanctum. Let's go ahead and just wait. We're going to wait for the time to run out. All right. So we're just going to wait for this thing to count down. It's almost there. We'll see what came out of it. Again, we're looking for units with a high number of affixes, anything with at least 4 affixes, or weapons that have 8 affixes. I mean, you can always pick up everything in vendor trash, the stuff that you don't think is going to sell in the player shop. But usually come up with a pretty good haul. Your results will vary. It is RNG. So you're going to have some runs where you just get crazy amounts of money. You make like 4 or 5 million, you know, from just one run. You're going to have others where, you know, you might only make a couple 100,000. But it adds up. I usually have more good runs than bad runs, but maybe that's just me. So I got a 4 slot, a 6 slot. That's always good. 4 slot. I'll pick up 10 stars too that drop. But see, those usually don't have many affixes. A 4 slot, and done. Now let's look at the weapons. See if we got any 8 slotters. Surprised, they do show up. 8 slot units are actually something too that you can find quite a bit of. Okay. All right. So Buster Quests. Buster Quests are pretty easy to do solo. And I'm not going to actually go through a quest. I'm going to link a video to one of my other guides showing how to do one solo. But what I do want to cover is the importance of getting the medals from them and what you can do to make money off of them. So we're going to go talk to this medal exchange attendant. This is on the 2nd floor of the shop area. So you just walk on up. Talk to this person here. Now we're going to Buster Medal Exchange. That's probably things you're familiar with, like the very fashionable Rappy suit, or the Rappy Shine, which gives you 777 health. But what we really want to focus on are these little units over here. So you're going to notice something here. Sentence Receptor, that allows you to transfer another sentence ability to a unit of your choice. Sentence Power is going to be a power buff, a very sought after one. Sentence Shoot, same thing, but for our attack. And now we've got Sentence Technique for the spirited one. Okay. So, once you look at these, you know, you'll notice that, you know, some of these are probably going to be worth more than others. We're going to go ahead and do a search. Let's look for Sentence. Let's just start with Power. Let's go Units. Number of abilities, 6. Search. Look at these bad boys. The cheapest one is going for over 3 million. All right, I'm going to keep this last section very brief. It's called Work in the Player Shops. We're not going to go too far into it. It should be pretty easy to do on your own. But basically, the overview is there's going to be certain weeks when things sell for a lot more than others. Those are called boost weeks. That's when affixing success rates are enhanced, and everyone's going to try to make really hard to affix units because of that extra boost. So ideally, you want to spend time buying up stuff while it's cheaper before a boost week, maybe a couple weeks in advance, and then save it for when the boost week actually happens, and make sure to sell it then. Other things to look out for is the AC scratches. There'll occasionally be ones that have really good add special ability items, like add special ability, strike and PP version 3. If you get that one, you can actually buy those up oftentimes during those scratch seasons. For this power one, I think I bought last time a bunch of for 16 million. I turned it around and sold them for 36 million, just to give you an idea. So you're going to have a little bit of a base Meseta pool first, but you can easily turn around and sell things if you know when the value is going to be more than what you paid for. So again, boost weeks, look them up. That's about it. All right, hopefully you found those tips to be useful. If you did, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It will help me out greatly. And if you've got questions, feel free to post them in the comments. If you have suggestions, maybe some tips on how you make money that are different from the ways I do, go ahead and post them in the comments as well. Let's keep the knowledge spreading. That's really the whole goal. We've got the Western release coming, so let's hype it up. All right, have a good one, everyone. Take care.